Job, chapters 4 through 14, the great debate, the first cycle of speeches. In studying this section, 1. To examine the counsel of Job's friends, what their observations were, and upon what they based their conclusions regarding Job's suffering. 2. To consider Job's response to his friends, how he took their advice, and how he continued to vent his complaint over his suffering. Following Job's outburst, in which he cursed the day of his birth and wondered why those who long for death continue to live, his three friends began offering their counsel. Eliphaz the Temanite starts with expressing his view that the innocent don't suffer, the wicked do. As support for his position, he refers to a vision that he had, chastising Job. Eliphaz then directs Job to seek God's forgiveness, reminding him of the blessing that would come if Job repented. Chapter 4, 1 through 5:22. Job defends his rash words as being prompted by his grief, and again expresses his desire for death. Reproaching his friends as being a deceitful brook, he challenges them to show him where he has sinned. He then resumes his complaint, asking God a multitude of questions. Chapter 6, 1 through 7:21. Bildad the Shuhite now steps in and rebukes Job for his strong words. Maintaining that God is just, he implies that Job's sons died because of their own transgressions, that if Job were only pure and upright, he would be blessed by God. Appealing to wisdom of the ancients, he contends that the wicked are without support, and that God will not cast away the blameless. If Job would only repent, God would fill him once again with laughter and rejoicing. Chapter 8, verse 1 through 22. Job basically agrees, but wonders who can really be righteous in God's sight, in view of his own wisdom and strength. He then complains of God's inaccessibility and maintains his own integrity, while concluding that God destroys the blameless along with the wicked. Feeling hopeless, Job bemoans the lack of a mediator between him and God. Once again, he gives free course to his complaint, as he lashes out with more questions directed toward God. Chapter 9, 1 through 10:22. Finally, Zophar the Naamathite enters the dialogue with his own rebuke of Job for his rash words, indicating that Job has actually received less suffering than he deserves. He reproaches Job trying to search out the deep things of God. Instead, Job should be putting away iniquity and wickedness, for then he would abide in brightness and security and hope. Chapter 11, 1 through 20. In response, Job chides his friends for their attempt to impart wisdom, but succeeding only in mocking him. Affirming the wisdom of God, Job says the advice of his friends has been of little help. He calls them forgers of lies and worthless physicians who have only given him proverbs of ashes and defenses of clay. Confident of his own integrity, Job again expresses his desire to speak with God, to ask him what he has done to deserve such suffering. Once again despairing of hope, he longs for death. Chapter 12, 1 through 14:22. This ends Job chapters 4 through 14, the great debate, first cycles of speeches.